Tunisia, the Eagles of Carthage, and the weight of history. A small nation with a giant football heart in North Africa. Welcome to Ballafrica, the podcast where Africa's football stories are told not merely through results and statistics, but through passion, sacrifice, resilience, and dreams. In this episode, our World Cup journey takes us to North Africa, a nation whose football story stretches across generations, a nation that has carried the hopes of the Arab world, inspired the African continent, and repeatedly punched above the weight on football's biggest stage. Today, we talk about Tunisia, the Eagles of Carthage, a team that may not always receive the global attention given to some of Africa's larger football powers, but on whose consistency, pride, and determination have made them one of the continent's most respected football nations. As the 2026 FIFA Jamboree goes on, Tunisia once again stands among Africa's chosen representatives, and perhaps more than ever before, they arrive carrying a belief that history is waiting to be written or to be rewritten. The land of Carthage. Before we discuss football, we must understand Tunisia, a country situated at the crossroads of Africa, the Mediterranean, and the Arab world, a nation whose history dates back thousands of years. The ancient civilization of Carthage, once challenged by the mighty Roman Empire. Its people have always been known for resilience, for courage, for refusing to surrender when faced with overwhelming odds. Perhaps that's why Tunisian football feels so familiar. Because throughout its history, Tunisian football has embodied those same values: discipline, determination, persistence, the willingness to fight for every inch. Thus, they started building a football powerhouse. Tunisia's football journey has never been based on flashy headlines. Unlike some nations blessed with endless superstar names, Tunisia built its reputation through organization, consistency, and the collective strength. Year after year, generation after generation, the Eagles continue to compete, continue to qualify, continue to represent Mama Africa with pride, and the result speaks for themselves. Tunisia has qualified for more World Cups than most African nations. They have consistently been amongst Africa's strongest teams. They have captured the African Cup of Nations title and regularly challenged for continental honors. Their greatest continental achievement came in 2004, playing on home soil, driven by an entire nation. Tunisia lifted the African Cup of Nations, the AFCON trophy, for the first time in its history. The celebrations were unfathomable. They were unforgettable. A dream realized, a nation united, and proved that Tunisia belongs amongst Africa's elite. Breaking Africa's World Cup barrier, every football nation has a moment that changes everything. For Tunisia, the moment came in 1978 at the World Cup in Argentina. At this time, African football was often dismissed by many around the world. African teams were expected to participate and not compete, not win, certainly not make history. Tunisia changed that forever. In their opening match, they defeated Mexico 3-1. It was more than a victory. It was a statement. Tunisia became the first African nation ever to win a World Cup match. Let that sink in. The first, before Cameroon shocked the world, before Senegal stunned France, before Ghana reached the quarterfinals, before Morocco reached the semifinals, there was Tunisia opening the door and showing the way, showing the world that African football belonged. That victory remains one of the most important moments in African football history. And every African team that followed owes something to that Tunisian breakthrough because it paved the way for belief. Then there was a long road of heartbreak. Football, however, is rarely a straight path. Following the historic achievement came decades of frustration, near misses, painful eliminations, opportunities that were lost. Tunisia often qualified for major tournaments only to find themselves failing just short of making deeper runs. World Cups came and went. The Carthage Eagles competed briefly, but the knockout stages remained elusive. Many times they entered tournaments with hope. Many times they left with disappointment, yet they never disappeared, never stopped believing, never stopped rebuilding. And that resilience became one of the most defining characteristics of the Tunisian football team, thus building a nation that refuses to quit. One of the most remarkable aspects of Tunisia's football story is consistency. While many nations experience dramatic highs and lows, followed by long periods of decline, Tunisia remains present, always competing, always challenging, always finding ways to return. They may not always dominate headlines, but year after year, they continue to prove they belong. The consistency is not accidental. It comes from strong domestic football, strong youth development, and a football culture that values discipline and collective effort over individual stardom. The Eagles may not always have the biggest names, but they always have a team. And sometimes that matters even more. The road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup was not easy. The journey to the 2026 FIFA World Cup was another demonstration of Tunisia's identity. Professional, disciplined, focused. While other teams struggle with inconsistency, Tunisia quietly took care of business, match after match, point after point, victory after victory. There were difficult moments, pressure-filled encounters, hostile environments, but Tunisia remained composed, collected, and ready to make advances. Because qualification is not new territory for them. This is what they do. This is who they are. They earned their place among Africa's World Cup representative once again. And while qualification itself may not have shocked anyone, it reinforced an important truth. Tunisia remains one of Africa's most reliable football powers, and they are very consistent. So, World Cup history, always close, but yet too far. The World Cup has given Tunisia memorable moments, historic victories, famous performances, proud displays. Yet, one challenge remains: the Eagles have never advanced beyond the group stages. Think about that for a moment. The team that set the record as the first African team to win a match at the World Cup never advanced out of the group stage. A nation that has qualified multiple times. A nation that gave Africa its first World Cup victory. A nation respected across the continent. Yet, the knockout rounds have remained just beyond reach. How many times have they come close? How many opportunities slipped away? How many dreams were left unfinished? And perhaps this is what makes this World Cup so compelling. Because every tournament represents another opportunity to rewrite history. This current generation of Tunisia's players may not possess the star power of some other nations, but they possess something equally valuable: experience, unity, and the key word is belief. This quote understands exactly what representing Tunisia means. Many have grown up watching previous generations fall just short. Many carry the memories of heartbreak. Many understand the responsibility placed upon their shoulders, and that creates motivation, a hunger to achieve what no Tunisian team has ever accomplished before, a hunger to finally break through, to finally reach the knockout rounds, to finally create a new chapter and make history. The group stage at this tournament for Tunisia is a challenge, because now comes the question every Tunisian supporter is asking: what awaits them? What does their group mean? Can they advance? Can they finally make history? The reality is that World Cup group stages are never easy. Every opportunity has earned its place. Every match is a battle. Every mistake can prove costly. But Tunisia has never been intimidated by reputation. They understand tournament football. They understand pressure. And they understand that World Cups are won not by names on paper, but by performances on the field. The expectation should be realistic, but ambitious. Compete fairly, as they famously say in Cameroon, Ndamba, na fulfill. Remain organized, stay disciplined, take opportunities when they come, and believe. Because football rewards belief, history rewards courage, and World Cup often produces surprises. Why not Tunisia? What Tunisia currently represents for many African nations, football is a sport. For Tunisia, it is also a symbol of national pride, a symbol of resilience, a symbol of unity. When the Eagles take the field, they represent millions of people watching from Tunis, from Sfax, from Sousse, from villages and cities across the country. They represent generations who have supported the national team through victories and defeats. They represent children dreaming of one day wearing the national colors. They represent a continent that continues to push boundaries, a continent that no longer asks for respect, a continent that earns its respect. Here is a message to the Eagles of Carthage. To the players who will wear the Tunisian jersey at the World Cup, remember who you are. Remember those who came before you. Remember the pioneers of 1978. Remember the generations who came. Remember the generations who carried this dream. Remember the supporters who never stopped believing. You carry more than a football. You carry history. You carry hope. You carry the dreams of a nation. And perhaps somewhere in this tournament, an opportunity awaits you. An opportunity to achieve what no Tunisian team has achieved before. This is your time. An opportunity to make history. An opportunity to soar. As the Eagles of Carthage prepare for another World Cup adventure, one truth remains undeniable. They have already changed African football history. They opened the doors. They challenge perceptions. They prove that African teams belong. Now, the next challenge is not a simple participation challenge, not simply competing, but breaking through, crossing the final barrier, reaching heights never before reached. Can Tunisia finally advance beyond the group stage? That's the basic question. Can they create the greatest moment in their football history? The answer awaits. But one thing is certain, when the Eagles take flight, they carry the hopes of the nation. And even Africa dreams together, extraordinary things become possible. I am Easy Lise, and this is Ballafrica. Until next time, keep believing in African football, because every World Cup reminds us of one simple truth. Africa's story is still being written, and some of its greatest chapters are yet to come. Thank you for watching.